All right, excuse me as I clear my throat. Here we go. Welcome. I'm going to get straight into this little live session because I really want to help you guys in the business community that are looking to get more leads and sales and more traction using social media, mainly Facebook and Instagram is where I sort of play. Facebook is something that I absolutely love. So I'm going to give you 3 ways to double your leads and sales using Facebook in the next 30 days. So if you're online, give me the likes and the thumbs up. Let me know that you're around and say hello. If you have any questions, I might have some time to answer them right here and right now. I've had a great day today. I interviewed an exceptional human being, Dr. Adam Fraser, around the mindset of successful people and high performance people. Like, hang out for that episode. It's going to be absolutely amazing and I think you'll absolutely love it. However, for today, this is what I want to talk about. I'm going to give you 3 very, very simple strategies, very, very overlooked strategies that most people that I see from a coaching point of view, from a marketing, strategic marketing point of view, just simply don't do, overlook, discredit. People start to slow up this time of the year, coming towards the end of the year. For me personally, I start to push a little bit harder and I start to push my clients a little bit harder. Don't back off, just keep going. Remain consistent. This is stimulated by a conversation I had earlier today with a business development manager for a company that I'm looking at franchising nationally, and it was about my trajectory in business and how things have been going. And I've just said that even during the tough times when I was running a bit lean, when things weren't going so well when I first started this business, I kept my marketing consistent. All I've done is consistently is really be the top of mind with my marketing. Always in front of people's faces, always promoting, always making offers, always providing great content. Well, I think it is anyway. Providing great content, always trying to influence, move people in a direction that helps them, that encourages them, that establishes me as the authority and a leader in a marketplace. I can create relationships, long-term relationships with people so they get to know me, like me, and trust me and do business with me. All right, so let me give you a little bit of insight as to how I do it and how you can do it in the next 30 days. You ready? All right, here we go. So the first thing that you can do when we talk about our social media marketing is you can 4x your content. So for those of you who are posting once per week on any sort of social media, but I'm talking particularly Facebook is something that I'm fond of, you can 4x that. Post 4 times a week. If you're posting 2 times a day, you can post 4 times a day, right? Like, you can definitely increase your content by 4 times, 4x your content. If you think at the moment that, Adrian, you're crazy because I'm just going to piss people off and annoy people, well, you're wrong, because we live in a society, if you check out people's habits and their habitual nature in terms of how we use digital media and how we consume it. Most people have anywhere up to around 5 digital media platforms on their phone at any one time. They're checking their phone 50, 60, 70, 100 times a day. They're scrolling back when we're talking about Facebook, back in time, at 15 minutes at a time, chronologically around 2 hours. So if you're posting in the morning and someone's checking their phone right now in the afternoon, they've missed your morning post, okay? Because there's so much information, and I think at last count there's something like 30,000 marketing messages per day that are coming at us from all angles. Like, they just miss it. Most of your competition, most of the time, most of your are just not reaching as many people. So you think they're always online doing things, and they're actually not. They're actually underperforming, and most of your clients aren't seeing anything that you do. So there's like a rule of, say, 1% of your client base will see your content any one time organically, which is why you always have to be promoting your content and be there consistently throughout the day. When to go online is just a matter of understanding hotspots for your particular audience. You can suss this out within your insights page, insights section, and understand your audience and when they're online the most. Figure out those times and the peak times, and then start to strategically place your content in those particular times. My caveat around content is don't post any shit any time of the day. It needs to value add. Understand your market, understand your clientele. Make sure that you are serving them in a way that adds value to their life. Give them useful information. If you don't know what useful information then that you can put out there as content, then simply go to Google and start typing in as a consumer what someone will be learning or finding out about your industry. You'd be interesting to know the keywords and key phrases around what people are typing in. Start creating content around that and understanding your marketplace so you can deliver them more information that they're going to click on, they're going to share, they're going to comment, they're going to engage with your information. Okay, step 1, 4x your content. Step 2, create digital assets. What's a digital asset? Digital asset is regarding lead generation. So a digital asset is something that you can promote online that attracts people to extract data, namely, so you offer them something of useful value that they can download, they can watch, they can read, that they can opt into. So they give you, in exchange for the information, they give you their name and their email. This is permission-based marketing. This is where you really want to make sure that you're delivering top quality content to your client base, and like always be promoting somewhat of a content piece that you can then attract people into your marketplace, into your life, like whatever it may be. So for me personally, in the past I've used ebooks, I use a lot of video, I use workshops. So I take people from an online space to an offline space and I get them in a workshop and I start to teach them and inspire them and encourage them and then show them more opportunities on how we can work together. If you don't have any digital assets for any type of business that you're in, then start creating them straight away, whether it be video or an ebook or an online program, whatever that may be. Start creating it. We're coming to a period of time in the year now where you might have a bit of time to breathe a little bit and start getting your creative juices flowing and understanding what value add can you give to your customer base and how can you create a digital asset that's going to provide them value and in exchange give you a lead, give you a name and a number. That way you can then remarket your content to them, you can repurpose the other information you have, you can guide them to a point where they become a customer, where they become a buying customer. Okay, so that was number 2, create digital assets. Number 3 is create a multi-level ad campaign. What do I mean by this? A mentor of mine, Kerwin Ray, talked about the mere exposure effect. When I first heard him coin the phrase or say the phrase mere exposure effect, I thought, this fucking genius has a great way of encapsulating these certain market terms. Wish I had come up with that name. And then I Googled it and lo and behold, there's a Wikipedia explanation and I wrote it down so I can read it to you. The mere exposure effect is a psychological phenomenon by which people tend to develop a preference for things merely because they are familiar with them. So let me explain. When people see someone or something or a product or a program or a service on a regular enough basis, they become familiar with it. That's why when I ask you what are the top 3 shoe brands, you come up with, Adidas, Nike and Reebok. That's why when I say, what's a popular drink that you can consume, you would say Pepsi, you would say Fanta, you would say Coca-Cola, right? Why? Because they have developed such a brand where they are constantly forever marketing and creating that mere exposure effect. You cannot turn a corner without seeing these particular brands in different modalities and different advertising mediums. Now, yes, Amanda, I am everywhere, okay? So this is exactly why my marketing works, because I'm not in your faces in telling you how great I am. I'm actually providing great information. Well, at least I think so anyway. So we can, as business owners, do the same thing as Coca-Cola and Pepsi and McDonald's and all that kind of stuff with a much lesser budget using Facebook, because we know that, particularly in Australia, We've got 16 million Australians that are on Facebook at any one time. We know that these guys, 50% of those are active all the time on Facebook. We know they're consuming digital media on a rapid rate. We can see people plastered to their phones all the time. We know the behaviors. So we can then take a modest budget in any small to medium business and we can make that spread very, very thin. Whereas using traditional media, you can't do this. Okay? Hey Duncan, how are you? Traditional media, it's very, very difficult to have that mere exposure effect as in being in print, being on TV, being on radio without having an exceptionally large budget. So with digital media, we know we can do that because we can reach so many people with a very small budget. So an extension of that is that you could have a video piece of content that's floating around, you could have an image piece of content, you could have something that's downloadable or a text piece of content, you could have a video series, you could have something that is an online or offline training. Like there is so many ways that you can create different modalities that people can get to know you, like you, trust you. You can have 2-minute videos, 5-minute videos, 10-minute videos, half-an-hour videos, right? Little snackable type of information-based type videos that people can get to know you, like you, trust you. The more they get to have a little taste test of who you are and what you're about and what you represent, they can then go and consume more information. If you smack them with a 35-40 minute tutorial on how fucking great you are, chances are you'll lose 90% of people. But if you give them little snapshots, little snippet, little hints, little tips, little know-hows, that sort of utilitarian type of information, that's what people are typing in all the time. You have to remember that people don't go to Facebook to buy stuff. They go to fucking scroll and stalk other people and look at cappuccinos and selfies and pictures of other people's kids. Like, they go there for social reasons. So us as business owners, we've got to play a tactical approach to this. We've got to be social, we've got to be light, we've got to be humorous, and we've got to have a little business approach to it as well. Okay, so little interlude onto my life. I know that most people in business are actually fucking humans, okay, and they go through tough times and they go through ups and downs. Hey Danny. And they also have trials and tribulations, as well as they want to promote, they want to build a big business, they want to have a greater life for themselves. So I tackle the mindset, I tackle the emotions, the values, I tackle all of those things, as well as I add a strategic arm to their marketing. So I come as a coach in a sense where I can say, you know what, I get the strategic marketing side, I get the digital media, I can help you ascertain who your buyer is, how to approach them, how to write ad copy, how to create sales videos, all that kind of stuff. But I know you as a human being, you need to make sure that you're in tip-top shape. You need to make sure that you're mentally sharp so you can perform at your best as a business owner. Once I get you right and your head right, I know that the marketing will follow. So I add like both sides of the spectrum, which I think a lot of coaches don't have one or the other. I'm not boasting in any way, but I've had the ability to have both because I played both sides of the fence. All right, so you with me so far, or I'm losing you? Okay, I'm going to recap these and I'm going to let you go so you can then start to implement this. 3 ways to double your leads and sales using Facebook in the next 30 days. Number 1, quadruple your content. Quadruple your content. 4x it. All right, whatever you're doing, find out what works, what resonates. Flick off all the stuff that doesn't work, keep the stuff that does, start to add to it. Okay, so 4x your content. You can drive a lot more business, a lot more traffic, a lot more eyes, a lot more attention to you personally, you, your service, your product, your programs, or your business, simply by being there more often. Number 2, create a digital asset. Okay, so this is lead gen. So marketing or branding versus lead generation. We need to be in a state where we're doing both all of the time. However, if you're marketing from a point of just brand awareness, I've got to tell you, you better have deep fucking pockets, because you're going to be competing with all those people that have tons and tons of cash to put into this. If you're like any small business owner, the marketing budget is something they just don't know what it is, how much to put into it. They're always, running a tight ship and running everything pretty lean. So whatever marketing dollars you have, 8 of those $10 should be going towards lead generation, because leads create sales, sales create money. Money is the fucking lifeblood of any business, and you need to make sure that you're doing that all of the time. So ebooks, downloadable programs, PDFs, cheat sheets, video series, anything like that. You need to be creating that suits and tailored to your particular marketplace. People are really screaming out for good quality information, not bragging shit, not this is how fucking great I am, stuff that's actually going to help them to get from A to B to C. You're building a relationship online which is going to make you known, liked and trusted, and therefore people will want to do business with you. This is a pull type of marketing, an attraction style of marketing, right? So always remember, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. So push your content out there in a helpful way that is enabling you to extract data off this beautiful thing called Facebook, which so many people are on every single day. Okay, yes, Amanda, I agree with you. Number 3, create a multi-level ad campaign. So we know people like to read, people like to watch, people like to listen. Wherever possible, create content in all of those modalities and always be promoting. Don't ever rely on organic traction, organic reach all the time. I know organic reach is important, however, it's not the be all end all, and it's only some of the parts, in my belief anyway. We need to have some promotions so we can then reach more and more people who are targeted towards your particular industry or niche. Once you can start to really get deep down inside those people that are getting to know you, like you, trust you, they become a fan of yours, they share your content, they start to get other people. You can then create audiences and marketing programs that reach other people that are like those people. Like, there's so many things that you can do on Facebook, but it starts with this one thing, which is the create a multi-level ad campaign. Okay, this is called the mere exposure effect. So I learned this from a mentor of mine, Kerwin Ray, and then I Googled this thing and I found that it actually has a fucking meaning, right? And it's really how people see you often enough and they become familiar with you. So even though they've never thought about your business before, your product, your programs, at the time that they need it, they think of you first, and that's what you want to aim for in this particular scenario. Okay, you're welcome, John, anytime. All right. I'm going to get going. I might even play some ping pong, I think. So there you have it. If there's any questions that you might have, please pop them in the comments box below. If this has been of any use for you, then give me the likes and the hearts and the thumbs up and let me know that you've actually enjoyed this. If you know a friend in business that could benefit from this information, that needs more leads and sales in their business at any time of the year, then share this with them and invite them along to get some knowledge and information. Until the next video, I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.